What's going on, guys? Got another exciting project today. This film will be on both of my channels, massis-32210 and massis-outdoors. And the reason I say it's going on both, one is massis-32210 is my DIY type channel, and the outdoors channel is basically me out in the woods in my little homemade cabin that I've been building. But anyway, getting back to our project, what we got today, it's kind of an antique. It's the 1930s White Mountain Grand Apartment Icebox. Not refrigerator, icebox. We're going old school. We're going to kind of refinish it and kind of bring it back to its old glory and go from there. Let me turn y'all around and let's get looking. Well, here she goes. 1930s White Mountain Icebox. Now the reason it is an icebox, there is absolutely no electric to this at all. Top compartment, big old ice block goes in here. Water drips down, goes through a drain tube down to the very bottom, and they gotta have a catch pan. There'll be a pan down there. Kind of get y'all down here. Straight through design, there'd be a pan down there to catch your melting ice. I mean, she ain't exactly in the worst conditions. Just a little rough around some of the edges, like down here, just a little bit of rust. I would suspect so, being that their water was collecting down here. It's got a little bit of flaking paint. From what I could tell, this is not the original paint, so I'm not going to feel bad for what I'm going to end up doing. From what I understood, I ended up buying this on eBay. It was buy it now. You had to go pick it up. It just happened to be right here where it was in the same city as I was living. I ended up buying it. I left the guy the contact info, and when he got a hold of me, it was funny because he was only a mile down the road. I didn't even know that. He ended up delivering it for free, so that was a score on my end. From what I've seen in the pictures, the worst. Whoa. Let's open this up. This was the absolute worst. Flaking paint. But this isn't going to matter because, as I said, I'm not going to keep this original color. We're going to clean this all up. She's still nice and thickly insulated. The only thing I see is the weather stripping, I guess you would call this. It's completely cracked. So we're just going to take that off. We're going to clean this up. Get all this thing trying to shine her back up. Like I said, you can see right here the overspray. That's how I'm almost positive. That's how I can tell this is not original. And you can see aluminum right here. So I'm going to try to clean this up as well. Tape it off. Take off everything I can. Clean it up. Then hopefully when I reassemble this, such as the drip tube, it goes back from the little, goes right here, goes straight down to the water catchment below. I believe this is missing. This is on incorrectly. I believe this is actually missing 2 of the shelves. I believe this thing would have had 3. I could find White Mountain information on the internet, but I could not find much about this. So a lot of digging. Wow. This almost feels like some kind of wood up here. Like, I doubt they had composite material in the 30s, but that's what it looks like. I don't know if this piece is actually original. I'm going to assume it is, but at the same time, actually looking at it, it's probably not original, but I'm going to leave it in there. It was in there for a reason, so if it worked this long, it worked. I don't know if I'm going to bother, if I can find another rack like this, or even if this is original to here. I'm not sure, so if I can find another 1 or 2, or hell, I might just only leave 1 shelf in here. The coldest items go near the top, the little bit lukewarm items go near the bottom. Just keep it simple. What we're going to do is we're going to start out with some steel wool. We're going to start cleaning her up. And I guess the next step would be to pop this off. See if I can go to the auto parts store or home big box store. See if we can find some kind of weather stripping and put back in here. Try to get her going for the cabin. Alright, enough rambling. I guess it's time for me to get some gloves on, get some steel wool out, and it's time to start cleaning it up. I'm going to start cleaning it up off camera, and I'll bring you guys along as I get some work done. Well, about 20 minutes in, went ahead and put it up on some 2x10 blocks. I'll stick some cardboard once I'm ready to start giving it a new little paint job. What I did was just take some very coarse steel wool, and I'm just rubbing her down, getting all the best I can of all the little rust spots. They're just barely poking through. Something like this. It's like a little stain of sorts. Sorry about the camera work, guys. Rubbing it over. If I can't get it out, it's okay, because I'm not sure what this was painted with. It's not the original finish, I could tell. You can see as I rub it in there, you can see this top stuff's coming off, which is a mixture of some kind of paint and the original, because I could barely see underneath, kind of galvanized. You can almost see that poking through. That's about the only other worst spot, but this is the back. Nobody's going to care about that. Matter of fact, that's going to be the part I paint actually last. And all I'm doing is just rubbing it down. Once I can get, if it's stained to stained, or if I see the rust coming through, rubbing it down real good, and I'm going to seal it with Krylon. Let me double check the name before I get it wrong. Appliance epoxy. Now, the reason this is different than your normal spray paint, it actually creates like an enamel type coating, which once it's dry and the correct amount of coats are on there, will allow it to be cleaned with bleach and household chemicals without messing up the finish. Don't try that with the ordinary spray paints. They won't handle it. Got 4 cans. Picked them up at my local Ace Hardware in the little town I work, where the cabin's going. So I figured 4 cans hopefully should be enough. Spray the outside of this and get the inside. As far as like in here, I'm not really worried about it, because what I'm going to do is I see some shininess on this back wall, so I might actually try to get all that cleaned out, or not even worry about it. I might, if I do paint it, I'll paint everything but like that right there. It's crazy. This old ice blocks used to sit on top of that. Can't wait to really test this thing out. Even more, I can't wait to actually finish cleaning it. Kind of actually can't wait to get right here also. I'm going to clean these handles up, buff them down with a very fine steel wool, and I'm curious if this is going to change colors. If it does, then I'll continue on and get it to look like this. If this is same as that, then I'll just tape off the handle and give it a spray job. Well, I guess let me continue on. Right now I'm still going over it, make sure all the surfaces are smooth as can be. I'm not worried about, like, I've seen a little dent somewhere. I'm not worried about little tiny dents or imperfections, because that's just, this thing's classic. Here we go. This is 1930s. I'm not trying to make it modern. All I'm trying to do is just spiffy it up a little bit. On to the next clip. So far I've got, see if I can pick y'all guys up without dropping this little mini tripod. So far I went over this. I'm going to hit it up again. I'm not, it's smooth, but I want to make sure I get a little bit of imperfection out. As I was saying before, I don't want to remove all the imperfections. Oops, sorry guys. I kind of got the history behind this unit, and it's kind of cool. It's kind of almost the same thing what I'm doing. The guy after delivered it gave me the background that when he was growing up, and he looked like he was probably in the mid-40s. This was in their grandparents' cabin in Keystone, which is probably about 2-3 hours away from me. It's further south. So it was in their little off-grid cabin growing up. He was telling me about how they used to shave the ice block up top and how they'd make snow cones. So I don't want to remove all the character from this, but I do need to remove this old weather stripping. Let me see if I can do this. Make sure I got the right bit. Nope. Need to go change bits. On my little impact driver, go ahead. I need a smaller bit. Pull all these Phillips screws out. We'll take this out of here. I need to go and pull this gasket. It's really dry rotted. It's not really worth a damn. There's no point in me keeping it, but I will keep it just for comparison as I go get a new gasket. And I see, let me see if I can show you all this. I can kind of see how they split the gasket, which I don't know if this is original, but I would honestly think that if this is original, that it shouldn't be painted. It should be a black gasket. But I am going to go change up bits real quick. I'll be right back with you guys. Let me get the correct size bit so we can finish taking off. We'll take off this drink holder, and we'll take off this gasket so I can sand the top of this door down and go ahead and start getting the bottom done. Alright. Took me a minute to find a bit that would actually work.
I got it.
Thank you, little helper. Here. Got my little helper right here.
I always come for you, right? I think you need some. Dad, give me the nail.
These are screws. These are not nails, honey. Whoops.
They're
Here.
screws.
Let's not get in front of everybody. Well, alright guys, what I'm going to do is go ahead and finish pulling all these Phillips screws. And I think there's a little bit of adhesion on here, so we're going to finish pulling these screws. Again, we get this gasket off. I can stand on the top of this door. We'll go ahead and remove this beverage holder, and I'll put the screws away to the side. I'll put them in a little sandwich bag or something to hold them, and we'll get at them later. Well, I was going to bring it all back. So what I got done so far, I have 4 cans of this epoxy, or epoxy? Shoot, it tells me. Oh, I'm so tired. Appliance epoxy. 4 cans. I've managed to get a good coat on the very front. The top side's got a decent coat. I could use one more can just to lightly hit it. This side looks like garbage, so I'm guessing nowhere near done with that. I still got to come in here and clean this up. The door definitely needs about 3 more good coats, and the weather stripping put back in. Inside could use another, let's say 2 coats. Tried to put in the drip tube the guy gave me. Doesn't fit properly, so I'll have to just make something myself. It's close, but it's no cigar, so I don't know how he expected that to fit. So she's basically done. The entire front's done. I think that's enough coats. I just was going for something looking better. Got a drip. That sucks. I'm gonna have to touch that up. Oh, I gotta let this thing off gas a little bit. Unfortunately, I can't leave it out here overnight. We got thieves that come in from other neighborhoods that come in and steal. So I'm forced to put this up either in the shop, or I'll just park it back in the living room where I had it just quickly stored right next to the front door so I can get in and out. Then off to the cabin it goes. I can't personally complain. I think it looks a lot better than what it was, but I'm not happy with it. If I have to get 10 cans of paint, it will have a nice, nicer look. I'll take the steel wool and I'm going to clean that little drip up. I want to hit that side up at least. You know what? I'm just probably going to lay another 2 cans on that side. Nice thin coats until it lays out nice. Let's see what else. Let's pull this off. I love the handles. Oh, sorry guys, I'm not trying to make y'all dizzy. Just trying to keep all this thrown out. Keeps the old lady from yelling at me, and I got to pressure wash the carport now because obviously I've got overspray on the concrete, which I guess I did it last time. She really can't complain. Every time I paint something out here, I clean up. Well, so far, I think it looks a million times better. Makes it look kind of classy. A couple more, about 4 more coats of paint, a little touch up here and there, and I think we'll have a nice little ice box for the cabin. I guess we'll wait till tomorrow for me, be seconds for y'all. Let me go out and purchase some more paint and we'll get a rolling. Well, guys, just a couple of days later, I didn't have a chance to work on it for about a week. After I did the initial coat, that was 4 cans. I did it inside and out. Yeah, I did the inside of the actual refrigerated part, inside of the doors, the outside, everything. I still have this to do. I want to go back with some probably double-aught steel wool, and I'm going to just go ahead and take my time to return this back to the original kind of aluminum shiny color. I'll probably end up doing that completely off camera because that's going to be kind of tedious, and I'll probably do it with a vacuum so I don't get the little shavings from the steel wool everywhere. So far, I'm going to call this done. There's good stuff and bad stuff about it. I'm just happy that it's not that aluminum color. I don't have a bunch of flaking paint everywhere. I believe it shouldn't actually come out bad. The appliance enamel, or epoxy should I say, it's okay. It's by Krylon. Matter of fact, let me get y'all guys set up on this tripod. And you can kind of see what ended up getting done. Oops, sorry. I have a leg that sometimes doesn't want to sit up. And for any of y'all not sure, this is exactly what I used, the Krylon appliance epoxy. It's okay stuff. My original 4 cans I bought for like $4.50. I bought the hardware store out when I went back. They were out when I went back. They had replenished their supply, should I say, sorry. And it just was crazy. It went from $4.50 a can to $7.50. I guess that was the new price. The other ones were older cans. I ended up using a total of 4, 5, 6, 7 cans total. But while I was there, I was looking for something for a door seal. Why don't we get this camera flipped around, and I'll show you what I ended up finding for a door seal. Alright, I hope y'all guys are kind of want to get y'all in the frame. At the same time, too, I want to get this done. Apologize for the camera movement. I think right about there. Now, I went through and I was trying to find something similar to this. It'd been on like maybe an automotive type deal. Something, because this one kind of reminds me of almost like the fender welting on Volkswagen fenders. I was looking around my hoard, I didn't find none of that, and I usually keep a bunch from all the cars I used to do. I thought I had a couple extra rolls, but even that stuff was kind of flat versus this, because you notice it'd be a flat little surface and it kind of bubbles right here. Get y'all a little closer shot of that. And here's a little side profile. And this stuff's very deteriorated. There's no springiness. It's been painted probably many decades ago. So I got thinking, I was walking around the hardware store and I ended up finding a whole assortment of this kind of stuff. This one happens to be the sponge window seal. Has even on here air sealing tape. It's PVC type sponge is from what it says. And this was like $2.50 for a 3/8 by half by 10 foot. So I figured, okay, well, if it seals out windows, I mean, this is nothing that's that crazy, you know. We're just trying to seal a little of a gap. So my initial intentions were just to take this and run it around the outside, try to keep it as one continuous seal, and that's what I'm hoping. It should, from what I've gathered from other people that have used similar products. Let's actually start right here. What I'm going to do is just literally take this and run it right around the outside. And it comes with the stickiness on there, everything. I don't have to do nothing but just peel it back. And as I'm peeling it, just literally kind of just go around the edges. And what I'm going to try to do is try to make this as one continuous corner, one whole continuous seal. And the reason, oh, I didn't even realize it's doing this. Now I'm trying I guess let me push this even firmer in place. I was hoping this is going to be the magic trick. So I have never used, actually I can't say I've never used this. I've used something similar to this in years past. But being that I just finished, I finished giving this thing a good paint. And see, we got like a little tape. We peel off, the other side's not sticky. Nope. I guess it just keeps it from bonding upon itself. And that's what I'm going to basically do, is just go around the entire surface right here and try to get one good sticky seal. And you know, I forgot my little razor knife inside. I'll have to go run in and grab it. I grabbed 3 or 4 packages of this. I wasn't even sure what the entire total amount I'm going to need. So I figure even with extra winter times coming up, I've got the cabin that I'm building, so somehow or another I'll end up using up all this. And what I was trying to do originally was just push this very lightly on here. Then I was going to come back and give it a good push just to make sure I seat it down and get it closed. And that's really about it. All I gotta do is come back and snip it. Let me go get that knife, snip this, and we'll give it a good firm push seal. Ended up just grabbing my pocket knife. So far she's on here. I'm gonna go ahead and give it a close. Matter of fact, let's see if I can bring you guys along. I notice right here off the bat, right here at this front, I don't have that good of a seal, but back here I do. And what I can do is, we'll even open up the part up here. Let me see if I can show you guys this. I don't want to make y'all dizzy. Like right here, I've got a nice tight seal. And right here, it kind of loosens up. And it only seems kind of like from here, I've got just a little gap. Let me see if there's any adjustments I can make to tighten this corner up. But this thing is, like I said, this is 1930, so it's not going to be exactly completely spot on. There's going to be little gaps and stuff, but we're going to fill this in somehow. We're going to keep this the best that we can get it. And while I'm at it, let me see what adjustments I can make. I'll go ahead and get this top, the ice part down. Alright, what I ended up doing, because these doors I really didn't see any kind of adjustment for them. I'm pretty well sure the doors are tweaked a little. I mean, you figure in 1930 and this is 2017. These doors have been around for a while. Hell, this whole thing's been around. It's old technology, but if it works, it works. So what I did was I was able to take a good look down the gaps, down the doors, and see if there's any gaps. What I did was from like right here, and I came down right here and just barely went down the edge, a little on the bottom, and I added a double layer, which is extra a little too thick. The door latch is very, very tight. But since this is going to be the compartment that has the ice block and it'll send the transfer of the cold down to the refrigerator part, I noticed there was just a hair of gap here, so I done the same. And she's sealed. She's not exactly 100% original, but the goal is to make it work. Well, guys, I'm done with this project. This will be on both of my channels, the Massis-Outdoors and the Massis-32210. If you like it, give me a thumbs up. Please share, comment, subscribe, rate, everything. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I appreciate it.